Victorian TAMAPTA mi. Tabra ko to ka tiya kibut tap ko regional cooperation ko tap ko nuna laki kami tayo mani tita khilagu nuna tiu kami rung 1984 mi hibun niya ko nakhot. Tabra ni hibun niya kala kaming ilaw ludik tao. Ilaw kala kaming tabra ni hibun niya ko ting huli kangik kanya anak ko tilad nip tao kanyang nun dok kanano luta magkunung alu kangik kanya halugit pitko lugit anak ko na lugit. Tabra tap ko uwan yung kautigin na kahit tap ko katakatigi hulugit kangik kayo hulugit IRC ko tap ko piragay. Tabra ni hibun niyo kaming tabra ni okakatigi hulugit kanok hibun niyo ko magata tap ko aw latingit IRC ko radyo Gruben lo las Carpenter lo tap ko apekero kaluik kanok pihu magata ako lang tap tumanin na namik pikaming kanok hibun niyo ko magata tamag ko lo Inuit maningit Inuit taok tamag ko hibun niyo ko hibun ni kirangit pipilugit haba kiralo tamag ko hibun ni kirangit pipilugit taman na lo manikilad ni atok titagatit na utak titlay pipilugit to kato hekakulugo tabar tam na tap ko hibun niyo ko nakak radyo Gruben lulas Carpenter tap ko na ni Katimaroni umatap ko.
Well, in something like that, Dennis, we should look at the internal policy that has been developed at the IRC level in terms of payments to our beneficiaries, whether it's in actual cash in pocket or in-kind services that can be of benefit to our people. We look, first of all, at the different companies that we as the Inuvialuit own. For instance, we have the Inuvialuit Development Corporation, that is our business arm. We have our Petroleum Corporation, that is dealing in oil and gas. We have our Land Corporation, and we have our Investment Corporation, and as well we have the Renewable Resource Development Corporation. What we decided quite a few years ago, right after the signing of the final agreement, was that we had to give these companies and ourselves time to become profitable. And at the time we brought the information out to our beneficiaries, and they accepted that we need time to allow our companies to make money. Now, we are looking at all of those companies on an ongoing basis, seeing how profitable they are, and I must say that each and every one of those companies are profitable. Based on their profitability, we each year make a decision as to whether we feel it's right and timely for us to make cash payments out to our beneficiaries. As you know, we've done that in the past. The other services that we provide to all of our beneficiaries are in areas where cash is not paid out to them directly into their pocket. For instance, we allow a combination of a loan and a grant through IDC and our social development program for them to apply against purchases that are sporting goods store. 4 skidoos, 4 boats, guns, ammunition, traps, whatever. And we also offer to our beneficiaries reduced airfares through ACLAC Air. Now those only are a couple of examples, but in each and every case we take a look at number one, whether we think we can afford it as the Inuvialuit group of companies, and based on the information available to us at that particular point in time, we make decisions as to whether we will make payments out to our beneficiaries. But the other services will continue.
Another one of the questions, Les, is people are saying that the IRC is spending too much money down south, say in the Petroleum Corporation, in investments, whatever it is. They're just saying, well, why don't they bring the money home and maybe establish training programs or something?
Well, I think, you know, in that regard, Dennis, I think people have to come to terms with what it is they want. At the outset, in the creation of the regional corporation and the community corporations, there was a tremendous amount of advice coming from all quarters within the Inuvialuit community, be it from the elders, the young people, those people who were interested in the development of our companies and making them work. A good instance is investing money in the creation of our own petroleum corporation, which went through a tremendous amount of effort in order to make itself the successful medium-sized company it is now. That was basically created at the request of those people in the communities who were dependent on the oil patch for their work. And a part of that was looking at setting up the petroleum corporation so that because the oil and gas industry is basically in our backyard, that we needed a vehicle or a tool for the people to use to become real, real players in the game. You asked earlier about training. There's no way we could develop a training program in oil and gas or related fields if we didn't have a vehicle like the Petroleum Corporation to go ahead with. Now, as to investment within the region, you know, it's a downtime in the Canadian economy. The oil patch has all but pulled out entirely, and you know, there's very little to invest in within our region, other than the human resources and the training that, you know, we have been trying to address. But as far as the investment in the south, if you're going to be in business according to the way the people in the region want us to be in business, to be successful, to never touch the capital that we have through what we've been granted in the final agreement, and basically live off the interest and operate from that interest, then we have to go out and find ways to make money elsewhere. And the best ways to do it, I think, are in some of the avenues that we're exploring right now, particularly in real estate. It's a market that is a never-ending market. It's always a requirement of people to buy and sell land or buildings or houses, and it's just something that's there, and it's something that can be quite lucrative, and you know, it's something that I think we have to develop a whole lot of time to training people in that area. And you have to think too, in addressing the whole general issue of investments and of looking at how we can you know, eventually double or say triple our claim by what it is we do, is to look at exactly what a single person wants within a community. I mean, I don't think Inuvialuit as a whole want to become a welfare state unto themselves. I think you want to go out there, you want to be aggressive, and that's what we've been trying to do. If there was overall general consensus, we could bleed off that entire claim and just give it all out. But then we would have nothing left for the future, which is what, you know, the foundation of what we're doing is based upon, given the direction that we were given by our elders. But at the same time, through other, you know, discussions I've had with you, Dennis, and with people in the region, we don't live in a little wee region anymore where we can, you know, pull the covers over ourselves and hide away. There are things that affect us that are dictated by the world's, you know, population and the economies of other countries in the area. A prime example is the sealing industry and the fur industry. We had not a thing to say about that, but still we were wiped out. We had no input. We're still sitting back trying to wonder why it happened to us. And I think that we have to address the fact that we're playing in that type of a game. And in order to be successful at it, we have to be just as good as everybody else.
I should add to what you're saying. I think, Dennis, the question that you asked is why are we investing outside of the Inuvialuit settlement area and not so much within the area? I just bring this out for information that we have here in Inuvik a $5 million state-of-the-art building. It's the state-of-the-art technology in the north right now. It's a $5 million building. In Aklavik, we've got another $1.8 million building that is going to be leased out to some agencies within the community. In Tuktoyakta, we've got another $1 million building. We've got investments through ACLAC Air, for instance. We own Northern Transportation Company Limited. That's a barging company. We own a grocery food resupply company called Stanton. So we're investing in this area, in the Inuvialuit settlement region. But one of the facts of life, of living in the north, is that if you want to make a good return on your dollar, you cannot do it here in the Inuvialuit settlement area alone. And if you want to make a good return on your investments in a rather quick period of time, economics will tell you that you've got to invest outside of the region. That's why we have an oil company down in Alberta right now, to gain the experience and to gain the expertise so that in the future they can come up here and be a major player in the oil and gas workings. We also own real estate down in British Columbia, again, because there's a market down there to support some of our operations up here. So it's got to be a mix of the two, is what I'm saying. Investments here in the north and investments in the south. It's got to be those two combined.
If someone wants to take a training program to become like a manager of an Inuvialuit company, how could he go about doing this?
Well, there's a number of different avenues that one can pursue. I want to state here right at the moment that educating our people is of paramount importance to us. It's a priority. And I'll tell you why it's a priority is that about 1.5 years ago, we conducted a job survey, and we put out a job competition for a technical position in one of our companies. And we found out, unfortunately, that amongst those people who had applied for the position, that none of the people were properly qualified. In other words, they didn't have the proper educational background. They didn't have the proper kind of skills required for the position. And we took a step back and said to ourselves, hey, you know, this is serious. We've got to ensure that our people are ready to take over these management positions in our different companies. After all, that's what our claim is all about, to upgrade our people. So what we have done is to put together different programs under IRC and our different companies to promote educating our people. For instance, through the Inuvialuit Development Corporation and our social development program, we make scholarships available to Inuvialuit beneficiaries for them to continue schooling, either in college or at a recognized university. We also offer on-the-job training through our different companies, such as in the sporting goods store, or through IDC in real estate, or in our petroleum corporation in Calgary in the oil and gas business. But that really doesn't get to the issue of instilling the incentive for our students who are going through the primary school system right now. I'm talking about those students who are 11, 12 years old, and those who are in grades 5, 6, and upwards. Those are the students and the Inuvialuit beneficiaries that we've got to get to tell them that education is so very, very important for them, that we have all these companies out here and all these different positions that are available to them, but to acquire them you need education. What we have done, and we have bit the bullet in my opinion, we made a very positive decision that in 1989 through our petroleum corporation particularly, we allocated $200,000 to be spent on tutoring one-on-one our students in the settlements, for instance in Tuk, Paulatuk, Holman, Sax, Inuvik, Aklavik, or in other locations where Inuvialuit students were going to school. That program is continuing, and we are hoping to expand that now. So we're addressing education in many, many different ways, all with the goal of, at some point in the future, having our own people in those positions of management.
So you're not satisfied with the amount of people that we have in the companies right now?
Well, if we were satisfied, you know, then we would say that maybe it's not really required for us to encourage our people to take those positions. You know, I'm here in the position as chairman of the IRC because I believe that people have given me a mandate and a responsibility to upgrade those people that we represent. And one of the ways to upgrade them is to instill the value of education to them and to ensure that our companies are able to provide employment for them at the time that they're qualified.
How do you respond to people who in our survey say that the IRC is not getting information out to the communities?
Again, on something like that, Dennis, it's a fact of life that no matter where you go and no matter what organization you're in, no matter how much information you put out to the public, you will get those who say that not enough information is being made available. I accept that, but it doesn't mean to say that the IRC cannot use any and all possible avenues to get more information out. For instance, the value of speaking to our beneficiaries through the media on certain issues of a general nature. I mean, that's one way to get information out. We also get information out through the representatives from the community corporations whenever we hold meetings at the IRC level. We also have representatives of our different companies who, on a periodic basis, travel to the communities to tell them about the activities of our companies. So there are many different avenues on how to get information out, and we will continue to try to get the information out as much as we can, as quickly as we can, as detailed as we can. If there are people out there who feel that there are other ways that it can be done successfully, then by all means let them give a call to the IRC, and we'll value their input.
Mm-hmm. So this is to say that any Inuvialuit beneficiary can go to a community corporation office or the corporate center and get whatever information they are looking for?
That's always the way that it has been. Any beneficiary can go to any office and request information that they are entitled to, provided the information is not of a confidential nature. And I've said it many, many times before that if we have people out there who are beneficiaries who would like to get information, drop in, you know, come in and have a coffee, and come in and have a chat, and if you require some information on a specific issue, we'll try our best to get it out to you. But let's not forget too that in many cases, a lot of the information is sitting right in their own community corporation offices in their own home community. They should try that avenue first.
It's a known fact that Inuvialuit is a dying language. They even had a conference last year called the critical stage, because that's where our language is right now. Three of us sitting here at the table cannot speak the language. We might understand it, but I was just wondering what the IRC was doing to promote more language use and maybe some preservation of the culture.
Okay, let me use an example here of the importance that we place on the enhancement of our culture and on the preservation of our language. It was about a year ago that the IRC decided that we should spend some of our own money to revive and to enhance our drum dancing. Teach it to our people, teach it to our students, okay? That was one of the best decisions we made. I think that you will agree with me that that the project has been immensely successful, beyond our wildest dreams, in so short a period of time. And I'm proud of it, that we were able to play a role in getting that aspect of our culture and tradition back. And I'm pleased, you know, that our people who are participating in those programs at the community level are being invited by other regions of the territories to perform for them. As you know, there was a recent performance in Yellowknife for a number of agencies down there, including the Legislative Assembly. I mean, that's good. People are recognizing outside of the Inuvialuit area that we are doing something. To the issue of language, I'm like everybody else where we wish that we could have that kind of success in the preservation of our language as we did with drum dancing, for instance. But it's going to take a little longer. It's going to take a little more time. It's going to take a little bit more effort. There's a responsibility for sure for the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation to provide some assistance for the preservation of the language. But we cannot do it alone. One of the things that we did, for instance, in 1988, I put together, with the assistance of the staff at the IRC and our social development program, a very detailed proposal that went into the Department of Education, Government of the Northwest Territories, on establishing a learning center in one of our communities. And in there we talked about providing instruction for our Inuvialuit teachers so that they can get the most results out of teaching students the language in the classroom setting. We talked about the will to produce Inuvialuit papers and curriculum materials so that they could be used as teaching instruments within the school system. We talked about the involvement of parents and the elders in the use of the language and in teaching the students in the school system. We talked about the possibility of putting on workshops in the different communities to enhance the language. We never got, in my opinion, decent response or adequate response out of the government at that time, and I was very, very disappointed. So I have to ask myself a question. I have to ask the government a question. Out of all the money that they got from the federal government toward the promotion of Aboriginal languages, I don't know whether the Inuvialuit got their fair share. I can see through the Department of Education initiatives, for instance, in the establishment of their learning center in Inuvik, a lot of the ideas that we put together in our proposal of 1988. For the life of me, I cannot understand why they did not give us the funding and give us a lot of the responsibility to carry on with that program. And it astounds me. I just cannot understand why they did not give us favorable treatment. And I see what they're doing now in the Learning Center, somehow in many ways modeled after the proposal that we put to the government. Makes you wonder sometimes what the government did with that proposal we sent them. But yes, we are very, very much concerned with the state of the Inuvialuit language, about its preservation. How can we revive it? How can it be spoken on a daily basis? And we're willing to make our contribution, but we also need some assistance from government and other areas.
Do you agree with a lot of people that say it's fine and dandy to teach Inuvialuit in the school, but it has to start at home, where parents are speaking to their kids in English?
Well, again, you know, in the proposal that we put toward the government, we highlighted the requirement that the students should not only be taught Inuvialuit in the school setting. There was a responsibility there for the parents to continue to provide the instruction and the encouragement and the use of that language in the home setting. If you don't make a combination of the two, then in my opinion, you're never going to be very successful.
You mentioned earlier that you're going to have an exchange program of some sort with the Soviets that were here earlier in March. Could you expand on it?
As Inuvialuit, like I say, we cannot afford to navel gaze and remain within our own region. We have to look at branching out, and in so doing, look at making ourselves much more informed as people, much more a part of the whole global economy, and looking at offering assistance as well, because I think it was only a few years ago that we were the ones that were trying so hard to achieve something, which, you know, a lot of us feel we have now.
The Inuit Circum Pole Conference that's scheduled to be hosted by the IRC in July of '92 will be a chance for the Inuvialuit to more or less show off what they've done.
In a nutshell, Dennis, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you know, we want to show our culture, we want to show our arts and crafts, we want people to look at it and you know, purchase and buy and show off our drum dancing and show off our people, our communities. Show, like, you know, invite the world that here's a special part of the world, at least we feel. And we can prove to the rest of the world, yet indeed, it is special. And it's special because we've had to fight for it. We now own the majority of it, but each community has something different to offer. And you know, you can visit it, but you know, don't take any of it away with you. But you know, keep coming back, and it's our chance to showcase and to show the rest of the world that, you know, who the Inuvialuit are and where we expect to go.
And I just want to add one thing to that, Dennis, very quickly, is that one of the messages that we wish to send out in 1992 is that although we have a claim settled here in the Western Arctic, it's nothing that you have to be afraid of if you're not a beneficiary. That we can coexist with non-Inuvialuit the same way we always did before in the past, that we can still be partners, we can still be friends, and we can still do things together. And I think that's one of the messages that we want to send out in 1992. And I hope that we can be very successful, and I'm looking forward to that conference next year.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Wapta ko ni tap ko na ni katimalang magnik tabarani kautiginik kangit ko sa magkong kakana haluit. Ahit tabar kang ikip kakana haluit ko ko tamapta ko Inuit o kautilagi higait kanok tap ko kangibut ko ginaisi sa kakapta habagu magata. Tabar tamag ko limap kakahigay ko katalamik tayo na kaming ilimap kalaluit ukawit chalo tap kununa tabrapta ko na ilitchoke hukkufe tamnapta nalunay ngutanga 979-2320 ubani tamaptami tabaptamipta ko tamna box number 1704 Inuvik XOE OTO kuyalan nipta tabra Tabrani tau tuktuat kikiri tau tuktuat kikufe tamanda nalunay ngutanga ukwa 979-2320 kuya 9